Farmers don't go bowling in the spring. It's the wrong season. The writer of Ecclesiastes said, to everything there is a season. There's a time to sow, there's a time to reap, there's a time for joy and laughter. And he tells us all these different things, but notice he said there is a time to plant, and then a time to pluck up, or a time to reap. We're in the spring season right now. Many of you know I love horticulture, I love agronomy, I love everything to do with agriculture. And we're in the planting time. There's certain things you plant right now. You have to have the soil at a certain temperature. You got to be able to expect the soil has to be between 70 and 75 degrees for certain seeds to germinate. The other day I stopped at a feed store, was picking up some items that I needed, and there was a large pallet full of seeds. These are the seeds that they're going to use to plant corn in that particular area. When I walked by it, a thought came to my mind that I remember in a course I took years ago. And that is, you can't abuse a seed and expect it to grow. The seed has the germ of life in it. And farmers, they take feed sacks and throw them on their shoulders and throw them in their truck and then throw it into the trough, but they never do seeds that way because you don't want to bruise the seed. You want the seed to be intact and whole, so they carefully take those. These were on pallets that they would use a forklift and set it into the back of the truck. Because if you mess up your seed, you mess up your harvest. Every action we do is a seed. You and I both know that we can start an argument or we can avoid an argument, and that word is like a seed. That word becomes something that you say that produces something. But if you don't handle the seed correctly, then you realize that you're not going to have the harvest that you need. For instance, at the church, with the contributions and the tithe and the donations that come to the church, in our mind, the way we consider this is the very second that money leaves your checking account, whether it's in a check you've written or whether you did something online, the very second that it comes into the church's account, we call it holy unto the Lord, because that's what the Bible says the tithe, the offering is. Years ago, I walked by, the ushers had received the offering. Pastor Scott was preaching. I was making my rounds, just meeting everybody, talking to the workers of the children's ministry, things of that. I walked by the ushers' room. They didn't mean anything by it. They had put all of the offerings in 2 or 3 bags. And when I walked by, one of them tossed one of the bags over to the other table. It wasn't wrong, but I stopped and said, hold it. Wait, just a second. That's their seed. And we can't be tossing their seed and acting like it's not holy. This is holy. This is now God's. You just took God's resource and chunked it across the room. And I know you did it because you didn't know. But now that you know, the Bible said if you know to do good and you don't do it, then it becomes the sin. You and I know the seeds God has placed into our lives. The things that we have that should be holy unto Him, the things that we have that we shouldn't handle in any sort of a haphazard, slack way. But long before there was online giving, whenever we would get paid, Giselle and I together would write out our tithe check, and I would fold that and we would put it in an envelope because we believe in first fruit. So I would put that in the envelope, and that might have been on a Thursday or a Friday. I got paid on the 1st and 15th at that time. And when that happened, I would set it aside, but we never took that and let it be crumpled like a receipt, or never let it get wadded up like something that goes into the bottom of the purse or something that gets crammed into the pocket. No, that's the Lord's. As soon as I write it out of my account, it gets credited to His account. And when it's His seed, it matters how I handle it. Your heart, your soul, your mind, your life, every action, every thought, the Bible says even every idle word is a seed. Let's make sure that we handle what God has given us holy. We can't get these times back. We can't get this minute back. We'll never have this moment again. Seeds. That's what opens up tomorrow. The Bible says as long as there is seed, time, and harvest, the earth will remain. They're planting right now all over our area. Seeds are going in the ground. What about in your life?